Cortex versus Obsidian. Which one is better for you? In this video, we're going to cover the pricing of each one of them, the core difference, the writing experience, the setup phase, the productivity trap, when to choose each tool, the impact of both, and the bottom line with my personal opinion. So, as a disclaimer, I need one. I've been using Obsidian extensively for over 2 years or more even, and recently switched to Cortex, which has significantly improved my writing and thinking process. While I run the YouTube channel Cortex with me, the one you're watching right now, and will soon become a Cortex affiliate, the comparison is based solely on my personal experience with both tools. With Obsidian, I've been able to write 31 articles in my previous personal blog and grew my Twitter account to 1,900 followers in less than a year. Not a huge accomplishment per se, but I got the reps in which led me to where I am now, filming this video. My goal is to help you understand which tool might work better for your specific needs, not to convince you that one is universally better than the other. Even though I switch to Cortex now, I've done my best to present an honest and biased comparison based on actual stage of both platforms. Okay, I'd say a little bit inclined toward Cortex because I'm actually using it right now, and I'm extremely passionate about this tool because it really unlocked a new superpower in my brain. It's literally as if I hacked my brain into becoming more efficient. And you see, this is not like that big of a deal of my previous vault on Obsidian, but this is like in 2 years. I wasn't really taking crazy notes, it's just like creating content, and that's pretty much it. But it helped me, but not enough, not compared to Cortex. Anyway, let's get into it. For full transparency, I'm not currently a Cortex affiliate, as I mentioned, but I will be in the future. Let's start with the pricing. So with Obsidian, you have personal use, it's free, okay? And you have also commercial use, which is $50 per user per year. Then after we have the other add-ons, and that's where they make most of their money, I would say. You have the sync, which allows you to sync your desktop with your mobile, with cloud, or I don't know how that works exactly. I think it's with their own server as well. You have two options: sync notes across devices, end-to-end encryption, version history, priority, email score, and you have publish, which is interesting here because we'll see the difference with Cortex, but that's $8 per month on top of the four. If you want both, then you will pay 8 plus 4, which is $12 per month. Okay. Now moving on to Cortex, they have the free tier, which allows you document, unlimited captures, unlimited sources and highlights, unlimited sharing, custom elements 20. We'll go over that in a bit. Storage, that's 5 megabyte file upload and 5 gigabyte storage, which is a lot for notes. Just telling you that. You also have Readwise import and members. This is coming soon. Workspaces are coming soon as well, but by default, you only have one each of those here. For core, which is the most popular, it's $10 per seat, and this is where you get extra. So custom element, you get 50, and then this is the only thing that is going to change here: the storage, Readwise, and members and workspaces. Okay, here is going to be 50 megabytes upload and 15 gigabyte storage, and your Readwise highlight, like everything that you are using on Readwise. So whether articles highlights, books highlights, whatever that may be, it will auto sync on your Cortex workspace. Members, there are 10, and workspaces 3. Same thing for premium, but again, those are the only thing that are going to change. So members, workspaces, and a storage. So moving on for the core difference. While both Cortex and Obsidian are powerful note taking, and thinking tools, they represent different approaches to knowledge management. This comparison will help you understand which tool might better serve your actual writing and thinking needs. So this is my goal with this video. Okay, so let's start with the writing experience. I'm going to start with Cortex. So immediate start, open and write, no setup required. There's no vault, import, whatever, like Obsidian. You just create the account and start writing right away. Capture flow, quick capture of ideas with the capture feature without breaking focus. We'll go over it afterward. Visual thinking, multiple panes open at the same time, allow ideas to develop in parallel. Minimal interface, reduce decision fatigue about where, how to write. Building block approach. So the core elements that we're going to see as well let you build ideas organically. For Obsidian, markdown power, rich markdown support for structured writing, and Cortex or also has that just for precision. Linking system, strong bidirectional linking between nodes, plugin flexibility, extensive customization options, local files, direct control over your content. That's not available for Cortex yet, but it allows you to download your documents still, okay? Graph view, visual representation of node connections, the one that you saw here. So, on and all, I would say that Cortex is like Obsidian, but with more features and less friction until now. Comparing only the writing experience here. Okay, same thing. The only difference is that I have more spatial thinking because of multiple panes. So let's go to the next stage, the setup phase. For Cortex, time to first node immediate, initial learning curve minimal. It's relatively easy to start getting ahead of what you want to do. Configuration needed almost none because you just create the account and then create your first document, your first folders. Okay. Design decisions, minimal interface is pre-optimized, so there is no adding custom CSS to change colors of this and that. There's no that. Focus point, getting ideas done quickly with, especially there have the focus mode here, which is interesting. Obsidian, time to first node can vary based on setup choices. There are a lot of people, I honestly, even me in the beginning, I watched like 20 videos on Obsidian before even writing my first note. And I know for a fact I'm not the only one. So, yeah, it depends a lot on setup choices. There are a lot of people that want to really, get the perfect setup with zero casting or para method, whatever. And yeah, it's gonna take like 2 weeks before putting the freaking first word on the page. Initial learning curve, I would say, is steeper, especially with plugins. Personally, that was like a tipping point for me where I just like freaking all those plugins. I'm not gonna install them, so I just started doing whatever I wanted, like just writing, and that's it. Configuration needed optional but extensive possibilities, and this is like again like paralysis by analysis, doing a lot of shit and just not getting started. Design decision, many choices available in Obsidian, which again gives you a lot of option, and that often led to zero action. Focus point, building your perfect system, which is distracting in a sense. So for the setup phase, I would say Cortex is still the winner here. Productivity trap. So this is where I would say I kind of present Cortex in an advantageous position because it's the reality of things. Again, if you go to YouTube or Google and you type in Obsidian, it helps a lot of people. But those people are, I would say, quote unquote, action takers. I don't want to like throw shades here, but I wasn't one of those. I really, really struggled with taking action. And so if you have a lot of videos on, the perfect note taking system, blah, 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 with Obsidian, and then you end up watching more videos on how to install plugins instead of actually writing, then what is the goal of all of that? So, how Cortex prevents it? Minimalist design discourages over organization. I would say it's quite similar to Obsidian, but there are key differentiation that I will talk about in a bit. And for me, it's mostly about like open the document, create elements like you're seeing here. Those are core elements here that you're seeing, and start writing. That's it. Like there's no more to it. Focus stays on content creation. Simple capture system keeps idea flowing. Like this one here, very simple. I can start writing directly. Let me close that. Go back to it. And then the structure emerges from actual use. So instead of like focusing on the perfect setup, you just start writing and then you will organize as you go. But I would say not. I don't encourage do encourage you to do that if you know that you need organization. Let's say do this like create your folders for your projects, for your study notes, and then for your a new adventure, which is content creation or productivity per se. I have another video on my note taking system that I encourage you to watch if you want to see how I structured mine inside of Cortex. And if you end up choosing Obsidian still, you can still use that over there. So anyway, that's like how Cortex prevents the productivity trap here. However, when it comes to Obsidian, you can spend hours on plugin configuration, temptation to perfect folder structures, time spent on theme and aesthetics, risk of over organizing content, possible analysis paralysis from too many options. And just go over Reddit and you'll see like more than 100 people, honestly, complaining about the same thing. They Obsidian was too complicated, too many plugins. They felt like they needed to do a bunch of things and they just end up not doing anything. So that's a problem. And if you are in this position, then I will highly suggest you just start with Cortex right away. But let's still keep moving for the actual choice. Choose Cortex if you want to focus purely on writing and thinking. You find yourself procrastinating with tool setup. You prefer visual slash spatial thinking. You work better with less structure. Quick idea capture is crucial to your process. You want to avoid the perfect system trap. Okay. This is honestly perfect for me because I was always looking for the freaking perfect system before even starting. Choose Obsidian if you need specific technical features, you have a clear organization system in mind, local file storage is important to you, and mind that Cortex will also have that in the future. But I'm, doing this comparison with the current version as of December 11, 2024. You'll actually use advanced plugins, and I emphasize on you'll actually use those plugins, okay? You prefer complete control over your setup. You have time to invest in configuration. If you have time to invest, I mean, go ahead, but like, don't only invest that time in configuration. Don't forget your goal with why you actually wanted to start your second brain, okay? Now let's talk about the impact. Writing output with Cortex. More time spent actually writing, very important. Ideas flow more naturally. Connections emerge organically. I already said that. I'm going to repeat it. Less resistant to getting started. Focus stays on content creation and idea development. Writing output with Obsidian. Powerful once system is established. Okay, I would say that. Great for technical documentation. Strong support for academic work. I've seen a lot of student using Obsidian, and it changed their life. Like, I would say that for sure, for sure, for sure. But I think that those students had a course in their university, if I'm not mistaken, because they were using Obsidian in a particular way that you won't really find on YouTube. And I've asked them the question, "Where did you learn Obsidian?" And they answered me, "I just started." I was in a cafe when I asked that question. There were like a group of 6 people. They were all students, and they were all using Obsidian, and that was fascinating to me. Cortex wasn't a thing at that time, by the way. Excellent for long-term reference and high ceiling for customization. I would say that I never even adventured into customization with Obsidian, but I've seen a lot of people doing it, like colors and so on, which is just crazy thing for me. I won't waste my time with that. So the bottom line, both tools are excellent, but severe serve different mindsets. Okay, Cortex prioritize getting your writing and thinking immediately. Is designed to eliminate the barriers between having an idea and developing the idea. Okay, the tool stays out of your way and lets you focus on creation. I like that. Focus on creation. This is an important point for me. Obsidian offers powerful features and endless possibilities for customization. I won't get it out of this for him. Okay, I really really like Obsidian, but again, too many things. While it can be used simply, its strength lies in its ability to be modeled to exact specification. If you can avoid the temptation to spend more time setting up than writing. Like I said, I didn't do justice to Obsidian because I know I'm kind of putting lower than it should be, but it's again personal choice and personal opinion, still unbiased as much as possible. But I know for a fact that I'm still kind of going over for Cortex here. Okay, so making your choice, ask yourself those questions. Do I spend too much time setting up tools? What's my ratio of organization to actual writing? And you can track your time, by the way. Track your time. How many hours or minutes are you actually writing compared to organization? Do I need advanced features or do I just think I do? Am I prone to productivity procrastination? Please be honest with yourself here. What's more important, starting now or perfect setup? Those questions hurt the ego, to be fair. I come up with them just by asking myself, do I really need those shit? But I did not. And that's why I'm doing this video, okay? To help you really get real with yourself. Your answers to these questions will guide you to the right tool for your needs. And to finish, I want to give my real personal take. Yes, believe it or not, this is not my personal take. This is as unbiased as you could get, even if it's not 100% unbiased. I will give you that. Okay, my personal take. I absolutely love Cortex. You can feel the enthusiasm on my on my voice because of its intuitive design to enhance spatial thinking. And I learned about that, I would say 1.5 years ago, but I never really got deep into it. But after I noticed that's my type of thinking. Okay, like I like to think through space in my mind. I mean, puzzling things together and visualizing a lot of things and then putting them together, especially when I started doing brand design. I just close my eyes and then I have all of the Pinterest boards circling in my mind, and then I start making connections, and then I open my eyes and come back to work, and I'm able to just replicate what I what just did in my mind. Cannot put things together now. Anyway, let me explain to you what is exactly spatial thinking. Spatial thinking is the ability to understand and process information through spatial relationships. Essentially, how things relate to each other in space. in note taking and knowledge management, this translates to how ideas and information are visually arranged and connected. So, how does that translate with Cortex? Okay. Cortex excels at spatial thinking because of multiple pane system. This is what you're seeing here. This is a pane for the what's called for the captures, and there was another pane for the draft. This is a pane for the book persuasion, and this is the actual draft of the essay slash article I want to write, the art of ethical manipulation. Okay, so those are multiple panes open here, and what I can do now is just drag and drop things that will be related to what I want to talk about here. So that could be sources from the book, highlights from the book, I mean, or quotes that I found on articles online, previous notes from myself as well, and ideas that I captured during the week or during the month related to that or not related also. And that's the power of that. Okay. So by having multiple pane open, your ideas can be physically arranged in your visual field. You can see connections by placing related context next to each other, like having multiple pieces of paper on a desk, but digital. This is how I came up to the realization of spatial thinking. Because again, in brainstorming workshops, for instance, what you are prone to do is really put every single idea you have and just put it on paper. And then what you do is you bring back all of the other papers from all members, and then you start seeing if you can connect different ideas together from different minds, which is amazing. And but here you can do it digitally. The building block approach. So this is also amazing. The core elements feature lets you stack and arrange components similar to building with Legos, where each piece contributes to a larger structure. You can physically move and rearrange idea as they develop. So here you see those core elements, and those what you're seeing here are core elements. But this is just like section that I use for the video. But let me show you an actual one. Opening pane. Context, implication, question emerging. Let me open another one to give you proper example. So those are blocks. I really love the fact that I can just close and open everything that I want. Interesting angles, observations, sparks. I just love that, honestly. And what I love as well is that I can also open that in another pane. You see here, so this is like the element in itself as a pane, which is amazing. I really, really love it. Let me go back here. So also the third point is the visual context. Instead of having to remember where information is buried in folders, you can see everything relevant to your current thought process at once. Connections become obvious through visual proximity. For example, I just give you an example now, but in more concrete, which is easier to understand for you, perhaps. If you're writing an article, the main draft is in one pane, research notes is in another pane, related ideas or inspiration in a third pane, all visible simultaneously, allowing your brain to make connections naturally. While Obsidian has its graph view for visualizing connections, Cortex's approach is more immediate and tactile. You're actively working with the spatial arrangement of your ideas rather than just viewing them. And that's the turning point for me. Like, I want to see them, okay? And that was important to me, literally. But that's only one piece of the cake when it comes to Cortex here. Again, there are a lot of features coming up, but I just want to do this comparison with what they have right now, and I think it's enough to beat Obsidian, in my honest opinion. I just like it. I love Cortex. My thinking has evolved tremendously. My writing quality has evolved tremendously as well. This allows me to create those videos here, I would say pretty fast in a fashion, to be fair. This took me what, like perhaps 30 minutes to write everything and to take those screenshots, to create this and that, and then here 25 minutes to film the video. I'm not gaining anything now except for the fact that I'm building the audience, the community with this channel. And my first goal will always be to help people really understand their superpower when it comes to knowledge management and taking notes and becoming quote unquote smarter. And that's it. With that, I'll highly suggest you subscribe to the channel and watch my upcoming videos and my last videos. See you next time.